Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm John Armour here with She Got Game. I'm here with Notre Dame superstar Olivia Miles. How's everything going with you, bud?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Of course, man. Appreciate you guys for taking the time out. But we're just gonna hit the ground running here a little bit. Before we dive into your actual experiences at Notre Dame and stuff like that. Let's just break it down from where you're from and stuff like that to give the audience a clear picture, right? What part of New Jersey? I know you're from New Jersey. What part of New Jersey are you from?
Yeah, I'm from more central Jersey. I'm right on the border of PA, town called Phillipsburg. It's pretty small, but it's one of the last exits off of 78. Jersey people know what 78 is. Yeah, so I'm pretty far out there, but still part of New Jersey, which is nice.
No doubt. For people back at home, Phillipsburg is like historically known as like one of Jersey's like top high school places, stuff like that. Unfortunately, we do categorize it as PA. She said it's like the last exit right before I think you hit like Bethlehem and stuff. So
Yeah.
you know, but just just to advance, what around what age and stuff did you begin getting involved in sports?
Yeah, so I started like playing sports since ever since I could walk. I was playing kicking the soccer balls on and around. But I would say I started basketball around like 9 years old. So I was always heavily involved in sports, but basketball kind of developed a little later on.
Nice. All right. You know, like you kind of mentioned, you were kicking soccer balls. It sounds like you were pretty athletic from a young age. If you don't mind me asking, what inspired you to pick a specific basketball? What made you kind of gear towards basketball?
Yeah, nothing too special, honestly. My when I was younger, my doctor just told my dad to sign me up for as many sports as possible, and so it's periodically through my life, my dad just started signing me up for different sports, and basketball came along, and we were just gonna give it a try, and kind of took off from there.
Nice. You did say you started at the age of 9, right? So that's fairly young, and obviously you wouldn't be developed how you are now, right? What part of the game would you say came the most natural to you when you started out? Like, what part of the game did you not have to develop to get? You know?
Yeah, I feel like that drive and competitiveness and like want to win. That's not really, part of like the actual game, but I feel like that part came naturally to me. Um, I would say being aggressive, going to the hoop, dribbling through people, I think kind of came easy to me when you like talk about the game technically. So yeah, I'd say like dribbling and then just the competitiveness and passion.
If you don't mind, I mean that's a bit odd, man. Usually most people like fear away from contact or drive into the hoop. Usually people develop that later, but you were hitting the ground running since a young.
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
That's funny. So here at She Got Game, we like to consider these things called She Got Game moments, right? It's a each in for each individual, anyone at this level and elite level, at some point in their career they kind of have a moment where like they know, oh, I belong here, like, oh, I'm nice, and here we call those She Got Game moments. At what point throughout your career, whether it be young, whether it be college, whatever the case is, when was your She Got Game moment, and if you could describe it for me?
Yeah, that's a tough one, but I think I'd have to go with I was playing as a sixth grader. I think I was playing on like a ninth grade team, and there was just one game where I was just kind of going off and doing my own thing, and I was like, okay. After the game, I was like, okay, I could really do this. So I think that moment kind of happened really young for me. Just always playing around bigger players and maturing quickly, and having them, see their, goals of going to college. It quickly developed my goal that okay, I could go to college too, and I can do all this stuff. So I feel like then when I knew I was hanging around with girls 3, 4 years older than me, I knew that I could, hold my own.
Uh, that's pretty sick. Sixth grade playing with ninth grades is
Hmm.
not too many guys doing that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great though, bro. Just to fast forward a little bit, as you just touched on in your middle school years, you're freaking playing with high schoolers and stuff. So that only it just goes to show you how much success and stuff you were able to manage while playing high school and middle school and stuff like that. So you fast forward a little bit. You were ranked eighth in the nation, I believe, according to ESPN. And you were in the runnings for McDonald All American Award and the Jordan teams. However, you ended up enrolling early, along with also another feature. She got game, Talia Vaughn. It was a few of you guys who did it. And my question to you is, what would it have meant being rewarded those rewards, although you couldn't because of early enrollment?
Yeah, this was a hard time for me because I was like, you dream of it and you work so hard for it, and going through high school, you're thinking about the McDonald's All American game and this award and that award, and I don't want to say luckily, but the game didn't end up happening, and everything with COVID kind of took it away anyways. But it would have been nice to still have that label and attain that award. So it was definitely frustrating, but I feel like my perception kind of shifted to getting awards in college. So like everyone around me was telling me, yeah, I know it sucks, but there are other goals, other things that you gotta focus on now, and grabbing these college awards will in the long run be more meaningful, and so that's what I just kind of strove towards. But it does sting a little bit, but I've moved past it, and I've tried not to really keep dwindling on it.
Of course. I was about to say that's pretty much every like high school kid or high school basketball kid Super Bowl ring, right? But that's great. That's great. You were able to persevere, look through it. With that being said, you being ranked eighth in the nation, you had every Big Ten, every Pac-12, every SEC, right? You had a bunch of offers you could have handpicked where you went. However, 2 days after the current head coach at Notre Dame, Neela Ivy, I believe that's how you
Mhm.
pronounce it, Neela Ivy. Once she got rewarded the job, 2 days later you committed. I want to know how much of her getting the head coaching job played in a factor of you committed to Notre Dame.
Yeah, so before she went to the NBA, we kind of had built a pretty good connection, and she went to the NBA. So we kept in touch. Didn't really talk to her as much as I was um, for a year or so, and I was deciding my colleges, and I loved Notre Dame. I just didn't really feel like I had a connection with the staff at the time, and of course Neil was in the NBA while this was happening, so. Um, I was kind of feeling my options out. I wanted a really good high academic school, so I was looking at Stanford, UNC here, um, and once she got the job, I was like, okay, this is perfect because I already loved Notre Dame. It was a coach that I loved and had a connection with, and like I said, like I didn't really fully connect with that staff before, and the pieces all clicked when she got there, and it just made sense, and I just committed. It was kind of crazy. Um, I don't think anything like that has ever happened in at least a while. But yeah, it was crazy, but it was worth it. So.
Absolutely, absolutely. It was definitely very fruitful decision
Mhm.
for sure. If you don't mind me asking, you commented a little bit about that special bond you guys do have versus other coaches, right? If you don't mind me asking, what are some of the differences in coaching styles compared to previous coaches and stuff you've had, and why do you hold her to a certain caliber or standard?
Yeah. Well, she lets me be me. I'm not saying my other coaches, haven't done that, but it's on a more advanced and more knowledgeable level. She knows what she's doing. She is, very experienced. As I said, NBA. It's been at Notre Dame for 30 plus years. She knows what she's doing. Um, so yeah, I just feel like she knows what she's doing, and she lets me be me and understands that I need space, freedom, to create and just be creative and be myself. And I feel like that's the most important thing for me, and that's how I've been able to flourish and, succeed. And I haven't even scratched the surface yet. And she like understands that. And I think that's super important that she kind of understands, my potential and where I'm headed and where I can go. And she will, do her best to, help me get to that point.
Absolutely, yeah. No, man. I think it's what anyone freaking strives for, to have that freedom and someone who really trusts in you and stuff like that. And it sounds like that's kind of what she does. She's tried to elevate your game to every level.
Yep.
You mentioned you accomplished a few things, and like you just said, you haven't even scratched the surface as of yet, right? Um, you made history. We're gonna fast forward a little bit into your Notre Dame career and the impact of basketball, right? You made history this year, uh, becoming the first woman or man to ever record a triple double in the NCAA tournament. That's insane, right? If you could go into a little bit about that, just tell me, what was going through your mind when you found out. Did you know you was about to get the triple double and wanted to get that extra rebound or whatever the case is? Just run through whatever was in your mind at the time.
Yeah. So honestly, like to begin the game, I was like, we just gotta win. Like I was like, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to, um get the dub. And so the game was starting and, I was rebounding really well. I had like 7 at the half or something like that. And
Mm-hmm.
um I was just playing my game. I wasn't really noticing it. And then the third quarter rolls around, I think the end of the third quarter, and like I take a look up at the board and it said I had like 10 points, 10 rebounds, and 9 assists. And I was like, hold on, like I didn't even realize I was on like a triple because I was playing, like I said, like I wanted to help us win. So I was doing everything that I can. I was rebounding, trying to score, trying to pass. So um I hadn't really realized that it had gotten to those like higher numbers. And I was like, wait, I only need one more assist to get a triple double. And so I almost got it on the break. I passed it to one of my teammates, but it, knocked out of her hands. And I was like, oh, shoot. Like, I don't want it to be a situation where I don't get it. So I was like, all right, I'm going to make sure I get it. So a few plays later, I came off a screen. I hit the corner and she hit it. And I knew I was going to get it because, I was conscious at the time. So I kind of went up and like put my hands up and I was super excited. And I genuinely thought it was just a regular triple double. Like I was just hyped to get a triple double in the tournament. Like I didn't know the weight of it until after when everyone started posting about it, and I was like, oh shoot, like what the heck? Like I was like, this is crazy. Like my mind automatically went to like all of the grades that have come through the game and like all of the women, men,
Yep.
and I just thought it was crazy how like no one had ever done that before. Like I was like, wait, what? It can't be me. Like I was just like, but no, I think it was a special moment for me, something that I'll always remember, and I think it gives me a lot of confidence, knowing that I hold that, and it's a record that no one can beat, and I think it's super special, and I hold it close to my heart.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. That's actually so. You did know during the game. He was like, "Nah, I gotta get this last one."
Hmm.
I had to know. I had to figure it out because that's an amazing feat, man. Like you just said, like especially when you run down everyone who's been in the college, NCAA, from Kyrie, from Magic, from all these guys, and no one. It's kind of weird. No one's ever done it, but this is super sick. So that's amazing feat. I'm very happy for you.
Thank
And
you.
in previous interviews, just to advance a little bit, in previous interviews, you've expressed your passion for social activism and stuff like that, correct? And you've expressed how you plan to help and advance the world so much that it's possible through the game to change people's lives, right? In so many words, uh, you know, how is the game giving you that opportunity to do so?
Yeah, the game has given me so many opportunities, but number one, just having a platform to speak and having young, impressionable kids and honestly people of all ages to listen and look up to as a role model. So every day I'm building my brand. I'm, making sure I'm saying things that are going to be influential on people. And having that platform that basketball has given me has really enabled me to do that. Um, and I feel like with that platform, I can go and reach out to people who, I previously probably couldn't have. And we can, create something that could help others. Or I'm working with my agency on doing, social activist projects and, helping people in service and whatnot. So basketball's giving me these connections that I can act on, you know, helping people and being of, community and influential to people, like I've been saying. So
Of course, man. No, that's super sick. That's super sick. It's almost giving you a limitless network opportunity
mhm.
to where you
Yep.
can navigate and figure out how to impact. That's really cool. That's actually
Yeah.
super sick, and that's a unique way, I guess, to utilize a lot of people platforms. A lot of people try to sell stuff. They try to, so that's actually really admirable and super dope. Um, if you could have it your way, right? Knock on wood. If you have wood next to you, knock on wood. Olivia Miles, basketball. She stops playing tomorrow, right? What would you want your basketball legacy to be?
Yeah, like we just talked about, I just want to be known for being a good teammate, player, helping others, just being a leader, respectful of others, a trustworthy person, just having really good positive, traits. But I also want to be known as like a competitor, someone who's going to go out there and win and fight for my team and go get a bucket and just like, um, I don't know, be fearless. I feel like it's super important in our game, just being fearless. And just succeeding. I hope I have a really successful career and people can look up to me and be like, wow, like I want to do the things she did. So that's what I'm striving for right now.
Super dope, man. Super dope. I was, to be frank here, right? There's no secret, right? The game of women basketball has jumped miles and miles beyond where it was 5, 3, even 10 years ago, right? I mentioned that to say this year. I guess it was controversial for guys like me. I love passion. I love energy in the game, so I actually applaud it and encourage it a bit. But you did get an altercation with division rivals with Louisville. After a fast break, you get a steal, freaking later, girl, and then it looks like you guys getting a little altercation a little bit. Now, while here we don't, advocate the violence or advocate anything like that, would you agree or disagree that sometimes maybe showing the passion and showing even that you care about the game can help actually advance and bring eyes to the game that maybe weren't there before? I mean, let's be real. Everyone loves rivals. This is what it is. Everyone loves a rival. Everyone loves that matchup, especially with Hannah Van Liff down there in Louisville. You're holding it down in Notre Dame. That ACC is pretty packed, right? You know, would you say that altercation or things like that bring excitement to the game, or what's your take on that?
Trying to get me caught up here. Uh, no, yeah, I mean, that was a tough game for us. We were down a lot. Um, it was kind of an interesting altercation. Like I wasn't intentionally trying to show passion in that moment. We just kind of, heat of the game. It happens. You get in a scruffle with someone, or get in a little fight. It happens, especially with girls. We're petty. We're emotional. So I don't know. I think it's important to show passion, but definitely, like you said, like not in any violent way. I feel like there's a lot more ways you can show passion or ignite your team. But that situation was a little interesting how it all went down. So, yeah, that's what I'd say of that.
Yeah, just to clarify, I'm definitely not trying to get you caught up. I just remember watching it because I don't think I think everyone would agree this was probably the most exciting tournament that women's March Madness has been in a very long time.
Yeah.
Even the ACC tournament. So my eyes were glued just as much as to you guys as the men's, and I just remember that thing, and I was just like, bro, these are top. You guys are both in my top three favorite female players to watch. Olivia Miles, I got Hannah Van Fleet, and I love watching Caitlin Clark out there. So
Hmm.
I'm all glued in, and I see it, and I guess some people could spin it negatively, but I was like, bro, this is what makes the game. This is what we love about it. This is literally what This is what makes
Yeah.
it exciting. So I just wanted to get your take on that, and that's great. That's great. That's a definitely good perspective. I didn't think of it like that. So thank you. While we understand you're still young because you're like you said, you haven't even touched the surface of college as of yet. But while you're still young, have you ever considered the importance of your life outside of basketball?
Yeah, I mean that's why I chose Notre Dame. I feel like
Nice.
being an institution where I could go and do anything I want after I leave, I feel like was top priority for me because like we talked about before, like if I stopped playing basketball tomorrow, what would I have? Or if I got hurt, knock on wood, at any point, I'll always have something to fall back on, and that was what my dad stressed, and what I've quickly learned that is very valuable in this world. um so yeah, I feel like my life outside of basketball, I use my degree to go and do what I love, and pick a job that I wouldn't mind doing for the rest of my life, but
Oh,
like Notre Dame is the starting point with that.
yeah. If you don't mind me asking, I mean, like you just said, apparently your parents, they've been gearing you up and just having these talks with you, which is really good at a young age where vice versa, where it's too late and you start having these conversations, right? Can the people, can we expect something, outside of basketball of you doing something possibly sports related, whether that be coaching, broadcasting, whatever the case is, or are you looking into doing other adventures?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still thinking about that. I don't think coaching. I think I'm too. I don't know. It's hard for me to sit on the sidelines and watch. That's me as like a person. It's hard for me to picture myself being a coach and not being able to control anything. I definitely want to be playing for as long as possible. I don't know. My mind changes every day. I could decide I want to be a coach in a month or uh,
Yeah,
next week. So I don't know. Definitely not broadcasting though. I'm not really one to stand in front of the TV like that. But
gotcha.
I love sports, and I'm sure I'm gonna have connections to it for as long as possible.
No doubt, no doubt. Most look when you have that much passion and love for the game, is the reality. It's hard to walk away. You don't just retire like, okay, I'm done with basketball. The
Right.
people who did it, Kobe, God rest his soul, and other people who did it, they're anomalies. Most people stay close or around the game. So,
Right.
but as Olivia Miles, your lifestyle's pretty unique. The average person doesn't experience the things you experience, the things you have to go through mentally, fighting the media, fighting whatever is going on in your personal life. What is a motto or saying you like to go to, or that you like to think of to help you get through persevering times?
Yeah. I usually just go by control what you can control, and everything happens for a reason. Like I said, like I struggle with like not being able to control things,
Yeah.
and I feel like that is a lot of the struggle in basketball. Like sometimes I can't control missing a shot. I can't control turning the ball over. Well, maybe I can, but like I can't control, I don't know, being taken out, or things that just like don't exactly get explained to you right away in basketball. And I feel like when I'm stressing about that or anxious, I tell myself, control, you can control. This is happening for a reason. And just to move on, that gives me peace, and lets me not be as restless as I usually am.
No doubt, no doubt. Hence why you play point guard and get to make up majority of decisions and stuff like that. Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense.
Exactly. Yep. Yep.
But no, this has been an amazing time, and this is great. But to conclude the interview, is there any advice just out there? Because as you know, Jersey is one of the biggest, best states for basketball, whether it be girls, boys, whatever the case is. Is there any advice you like to offer to any young boys, young girls, or anyone just looking to, that resonate to your story? Is there anything you like to leave them?
Yeah, I would say stick to your own path. Like you just said, there's so many other people and so many other good players around you. And I feel like players often get like lost in that. And I feel like once you kind of personalize your own journey and stick to your goals and what you know, I feel like that's when you get the most success out of yourself. So stick to your own path. Don't worry about anyone else. Don't, compare yourself to anyone else. Your journey is your journey, and you'll take yourself as far as you can go. So that's my piece of advice.
Wonderful advice, man. Anyone who listens to this, I really hope you guys take it and run with it. And again, Olivia Miles, you're very, very busy. I understand your schedule, workouts, and crazy things. I know what you got going on. So thank you again for making time out for this interview. And definitely here. We wish you all the best. Go fight in Irish.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.